We got word this morning that home sales are down in the Greater Toronto Area. A report released just a short time ago, actually off by a whopping 23% year over year. However, house prices are also down compared with a year ago. Dale Morrison is not only the host of Toronto This Weekend here on 640 Toronto, a real estate agent for Bosley Real Estate, and helps us to understand what's happening with these numbers. Good morning, Devel.
Morning, how are you?
I am well. Housing sales off, but price down. What's the bigger part of that headline?
Well, you know what? The Trump tariffs have also infected the housing market in Toronto. I have, a couple of clients who they were ready to go, and then they were like, we're just going to go on pause now. Things are so uncertain. I've had quite a few clients say that. So I'm not surprised to hear that sales are down. I also have a couple of listings and, trying to get showings booked for those listings. Yeah, it's a bit of a challenge for sure.
What are people saying as they're coming through, and why are they putting the tariffs as one of the reasons why they're hesitating?
Well, because some people are concerned about possible job loss as the economy slows down a little bit. So there's definitely that. In fact, I had one client that actually works for a shoring company, and shoring as in the company that digs out sort of all the ground for developers. And that client was laid off. That client wasn't laid off, but they were put on minimal hours because developers aren't building. So anybody who works in that industry, they're sort of on pause because they don't know if they're going to get laid off or not. And I was at a conference yesterday called Land Pro, which is a conference for developers. And there were a couple people there who said that the development companies are starting to lay off staff now. So it's really hitting all facets that people aren't spending as much because they're concerned about the tariffs and what that might mean for them.
Yeah, and indeed, we're finding out as well. They're not only not spending, they're not saving. A new H&R Block Canada survey says that the number of Canadians who don't put enough away for a rainy day is increasing dramatically. So last year they did this survey and they found that 60% of people were able to put something away. It said they felt they did not have enough to put away. It's now 85% of people who feel that they're living paycheck to paycheck and they can't save anything, and they feel that this is now the new norm. So
absolutely. I mean, we've seen grocery prices skyrocket. And there's the issue of housing, rent, and mortgages. And if you're on a variable rate, that's gone a little bit higher, coming back down right now. But even grocery shopping these days is so expensive for people that
we have the food price report saying that groceries are going to go up as much as another 5% this year.
Yeah, so people are living paycheck to paycheck, so there isn't any room to save. I mean, that's why the cost of living is such a big election issue, because it's a real issue for so many people.
All right, you have the airwaves right now. The leaders are listening. What do you want, as a real estate agent, what do you want them to know? What can spur on getting a home in Toronto?
It's interesting, not quite where you're going, but something I'd want the leaders to know about is they might want to consider allowing foreign buyers back in the market if they buy condos versus houses. We right now see a lot of Americans who are actually trying to come into this country because of what's going on south of the border. And, the shock of many of them is that they can't buy here unless they're Canadian. So, to me, if they want to get the housing market going again, especially the condo market, is they might want to start releasing the rules against foreign buyers to allow the foreign buyers to buy. That would be my suggestion.
It's interesting you say that. So you have had a number of American bites about possibly moving north of the border. People are that serious. Whenever we hear, I'm moving to Canada, they don't really mean it, but these people really are going to move to Canada.
Oh, yeah. No, and all my colleagues as well, too. A lot of the agents, we're getting a lot of phone calls from Americans who want to move up here. So it's a real thing. And I mean, I just saw a headline last week about 3 Yale University professors are now going to be teaching at U of T. So this is a real thing. You know, we always used to talk about the brain drain and people going south of the border, but now the brain drain is coming back up here.
Wow. All right.
People want out.
Very interesting. Very interesting. Thank you so much for this. And
Perfect.
do a little
Thanks
promo for your show this weekend.
Absolutely. So join us this weekend, Saturday, Sunday, 7 a.m. till 10 a.m., where we talk about pretty much everything under the sun, not just real estate, but it could be tariffs, because you know that's a thing. We could talk about election issues. We could talk about coyotes. There's so many different things under the sun to chat about.
All right. Thanks so much, Deval.
Thanks for having me.
Deval Morrison, host of Toronto This Weekend on 640 Toronto, and a real estate agent for Bosley Real Estate. I find that fascinating. I find that very interesting because everyone always says, I'm moving to the States, I'm moving to Canada. But to actually go as far as to contact real estate agents, is there going to be an exodus of Americans to Canada? Who knows? Who knows? That is a country that is incredibly divided. So much so that some people are worried that civil war could actually be a possibility. So evenly divided that maybe people do want to move to Canada. Interesting. It is 8:44 right now, 16 minutes before 9 o'clock. If you're driving along the Gardiner and you look over and you're used to seeing that big red canoe that is at beside Fort York. It's in a park. It's called Toronto's Canoe Landing Park, actually. Well, it's gone. Not just gone, destroyed. All that's left is the metal skeleton and a bunch of ashes. Somebody early yesterday morning set it on fire and destroyed it. 14 Division still looking for any clues as to who did this and why. And I was never a huge fan when they put that canoe up. I thought it looked a little out of place. It was just, it didn't have any reason for me to, but I got used to it. It's like one of those things you see, you know, that rainbow and the bridge along the Don Valley Parkway up near Lawrence. Well, I got used to that, or we all got used to that. It would be, you know, something would definitely be missing if it disappeared. So now there's something missing along the Gardiner Expressway. You may not have liked it or understood it, but an icon is gone. Something that you're used to seeing as you drive along the Gardiner Expressway. The other story I wanted to bring to your attention this morning, and this is good news. It's good news for Toronto Pizza. Toronto Pizza getting top marks at an international pizza competition in Vegas. I guess some of the few people who are going to Vegas these days, we've had stories of tourism in Vegas by Canadians dropping significantly. However, nonetheless, in this, Descendant Detroit-style pizza placed 5th overall in the Pan Division and 2nd in the world for Detroit-style pizza. That's in Leslieville. Meantime, there's a Bloor West Village pizza joint that also did well. Gatto Woodfire Pizza came 9th in the traditional pizza category. So if you're thinking about, you always want to get those little gems instead of ordering from the pizza conglomerates. So these are some of the gems out there. Gatto Woodfire Pizza in Bloor West Village, and in Leslieville, Descendant Detroit-style pizza. Congratulations, and way to represent Toronto. Coming up, we're going to be checking with Ben Mulroney. Now, he's not here in the studio with me. He is actually in Washington right now, speaking with lawmakers and others there about the tariffs and getting reaction. And we'll be talking to him in just a few minutes here on Toronto Today. First, here's 640 Toronto Big Trouble Traffic.
A big trouble spot.